Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Live from Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide, it's Alex Jones.
Long-legged Mac Daddy Barack Hussein Obama. Ladies and gentlemen, we're live already on the second day of February 2014, well into the second month of 2014. And you want it, you got it. Super Bowl 48 coverage. We're going to talk all about Peyton Manning and what a great man he is and how he focuses on winning the game and what a leader he is. Not on human colonies going into deep space, and not on life extension technologies, not on knowing how society really works and having a free country. Man, if men got into all the factoids of freedom and business and life, we'd have men again who are in charge and running their families and running their lives, and we'd have governments that were on short leashes. But we don't, because men now are experts on all the moves in the male soap opera that is the NFL. And look, I'll be honest with you. I like football as much as the next person. The problem is that it's such a vehicle of propaganda now for the establishment more than ever. We have this history of authoritarian regimes from Rome to Nazi Germany right through to North Korea today, and using basketball as a control system countrywide, that we know it can become hijacked and very, very sick. So I wanted to be fair today. We're going to have live coverage from East Rutherford, where Jakari Jackson and, of course, Josh Owens are there reporting live. They're about to go into the Super Bowl. They're going to be covering it all for us during and after the game tonight, and then with Aftermath tomorrow on the weekday transmission. But right before the show, I came up with the bad column and the good column here of NFL and professional sports in general. And in the bad column, and I'm going to detail these in the next segment, NFL sports is parasitic, gives false dreams, police state promo, government becomes the heroes, the basic corruption, the diversion from reality, the historical connection to gladiators in decline, bad role models, male soap opera, Arrested Development, anti-gun, pro-Obama, the NFL messages. People only talk about sports, nothing else. It kills the culture. Used to suppress real male activities. Takes over the area of the brain meant for planning and survival. That is the bad areas. And then we have the good areas here. Pro-manly man, no guts, no glory. Work hard, you can succeed. Sports good for kids and adults to play. Keeping competition alive, something the establishment wants to get rid of. Schools banning dodgeball, not letting people be A students, teaches sportsmanlike conduct, how to win, how to lose. Because as the old Aerosmith song says, you got to lose before you can know how to win. So there's some positive aspects as well. We've got all the news breaking on it. But don't worry, Obama tweeted today a photo of himself throwing a football, and he has hogged up Fox Television. It's on local TV here and all over the country, with him putting out his propaganda for an hour before the game with Bill O'Reilly. So this is the system forcing itself into our lives, just like the attack choppers and the gunboats and the TSA and the bomb-sniffing dogs. Oh, we're the heroes, we're the government, protecting you from the Al-Qaeda and Taliban. Just one big problem. They publicly run the Taliban and Al-Qaeda overseas and then open the door up for them here so they can be heroes. So that's all coming up. We got a big, big lineup for you. But don't worry, they have men in military uniforms as the defense force of our precious game. Oh, the evil outsiders. They might try to attack the precious NFL. Give me a big, fat, stinking break. Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gate, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro One filters today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139.
He aligns himself with the truth, and it's time for you to choose a side. You're listening to Alex Jones.
My love isn't league with the freeway. Its passion will rise as the cities fly by, and the taillights dissolve in the coming good night.
I'm going to be honest with people. I have a love-hate relationship with professional sports. I grew up playing football myself and sitting there every Sunday and, of course, Monday nights with my parents growing up in Dallas, Texas, watching people like Roger Staubach play and being coached by people like Tom Landry, who my grandfather was really good friends with and also roommated with at the University of Texas, and then later at SMU as well. But the whole point is that it has become a national sickness. And in any decadent society that is degenerating, sports is going to be central, just like in North Korea, Communist China, Nazi Germany, or Soviet Russia. It is a fact that going back to the time of Rome, and even before that with the original Olympics with the Greeks, that it would become a substitute for normal human struggles, normal human activities, and really is the first false reality, where people cease to be independent players in the game of life themselves and become spectators, like in Plato's cave, watching an image projected on the wall, not actually living themselves. Sports has become the proto-matrix of human society and development. And we've got fans collapsing, waiting in New Jersey. They're in East Rutherford because they don't let cars approach the stadium because of the imaginary terrorist. And the hero government, though, of course, with gunships and checkpoints is going to keep us safe. But we're going to have Jakari Jackson reporting live via video and audio feeds for radio and TV viewers and listeners coming up in the next segment. Then I will continue with an analysis of sports and propaganda itself in the main state. But before I do all of that and break this down, let me just go to a little write-up that I did before the show today, dealing with the bad elements, in my view, of professional sports here and also in North Korea, and how it's used in Latin America to suppress the population as well. And then we're going to get into the good aspects from my perspective. And then we'll open the phones up in the last segment of this hour into the second hour on this live second day of February 2014 Super Bowl 48 extravaganza with Infowars.com. And yours truly, Alex Jones. And we'll continue the discussion into the weekday show tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central to 2 p.m. Eastern, or 11 a.m. Central to 2 p.m. Central. And then, of course, 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern. And I'll be on 2 hours tonight on Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie discussing this topic and engineered economic collapse, Agenda 21, and so much more on over 500 stations across the country as well. So Peyton Manning works very hard to win at football. I work very hard at knowing how the world works. And then I see other men knowing all about football, baseball, basketball scores. They're not stupid. They're just, their minds are filled with stuff that doesn't matter unless they're professional gamblers, I guess. And then it's almost unmanly to know about geopolitics, the stock market, the way politicians operate. to know how the world really works. That's like weird and almost forgotten or unknown. But to know all about sports, and that being the only topic of conversation, well, that's seen as a virtue. But let's go over these points. Here's what I see in the bad column for the worship of sports in places like North Korea, Mexico, the United States, ancient Rome, you name it. Any declining society, sports become more and more important. No one can deny that. It's a gladiatorial diversion. Piggybanked for the establishment to make unlimited cash, and then, of course, they're tax exempt. And that's number one out of the 13 points. There's many more that I say are negative. It's parasitic. You've got the NFL itself being tax exempt, most of the owners' profits being tax exempt, the games security paid for by federal, state, and local tax money. Just the whole thing is a giant parasitic action. And then even the tax exemption of the owners becomes a tax write-off, like Bill and Melinda Gates are involved in as well. They're not really, why is every billionaire is a philanthropist? Because when you get into that club, you don't pay taxes anymore. Part of your earnings goes to so-called charities. That's really social engineering. So there you go. It's very, very parasitic. The $1 billion, $1.5 billion stadiums people pay for, you know, all because the owners take out the local idiot city council, just like Formula One here in Austin. Ecclestein makes billions and billions a year and is tax exempt. I mean, it's a total sick joke. False dreams. There's only a few thousand slots in professional sports. But most kids think they're going to be movie stars, rock stars, or sports stars. I mean, everyone I know thinks they're going to be a movie star, a rock star, a sports star, and they just try their whole life and are completely unfulfilled and unhappy. Whereas they could have studied any engineering or business or mowing lawns, for that matter, and how to hire more crews under you. I know a lot of guys own lawn trimming companies that make $10 million a year. There's a lot of slots to do that or own restaurants, but there's not a lot of slots to be a sports star. Plus, once you get into it, you learn it's not fulfilling anyways, on average. One of the least fulfilling things out there. Continuing, it's a police state promo. This is a big chance for the government to pose as the savior and have, you know, defense forces to protect everyone from the imaginary threat and project the idea that Al-Qaeda even exists outside of what the CIA is publicly funding, a.k.a. look at Syria, Libya, and Egypt. So it makes the number 4 government heroes, the corruption, the child trafficking, the prostitutes, the drug dealing, all the corruption that goes on with it. Just the spectacle of the diversion from reality, all the real things that are going on in the world, the fact that no one will talk about anything but sports with you shows they can talk about nothing but sports. It's actually pretty pitiful. Again, history, I already mentioned this, gladiators, the fact that we're in decline. You know, we laugh at Dennis Rodman going over to North Korea. Basketball is king in North Korea. So just like we can see from the outside what a joke it is, well, we're a joke here as well. Again, bad role models, all the pit bull fighting, all the gangsterism of the NFL. I mean, it's pretty sick. You know, I'm glad Terry Bradshaw, when his dad died, is not going to be presenting the trophy and went to be with his dad. People are like, well, that's incredible. He's been at every one of these games for decades. Well, his dad's important, not the stinking game. And again, it gets into that whole sickness of where it comes number 1. And then you build your whole life around being a spectator. You're not in the arena. That's why authoritarian regimes push sports, because it keeps you on your butt and worried about factoids about sports, not about business, not about the game of life that's a war, ladies and gentlemen. Now, again, it's also a giant male soap opera, again, of Arrested Development. No one can deny that that it's something kids are supposed to be obsessed with sports, not men. And that's been marveled at by many social engineers. You've got the anti-gun message that is in... You've got the anti-gun message that is being put into all the different sports and NFL. You've got Obama and Monday Night Football replacing Hank Williams Jr. You've got the pro-Obama messages and Obama coming on the hour, 2 hours before the Super Bowl for a full hour with Bill O'Reilly on the Fox affiliate stations, force-feeding someone no one wants to look at, no one wants to hear from, that's incredibly unpopular and trying to become a dictator. They're banning gun ads that don't even show guns, that just promote the right to keep and bear arms and fatherhood, like Daniel Defense. I mean, it's disgusting. what it's turned into. And that's why record low viewers, record low ticket sales, because people are saying they're sick of it. That'd be like having anti-gun messages at NASCAR or pro-Obama messages at NASCAR. That would kill NASCAR. Stop it, NFL. I mean, it's disgusting. People, again, only talk about sports, used to suppress real male activities, like actually playing sports, being involved in sports, which is healthy and good. Takes over an area meant for planning and survival in the brain. That's why you're into sports, because it's simulated combat. It's simulated war. Now, after we check in with Sha'Carri Jackson, who's there at the Super Bowl, our reporter, in the next segment, we're going to come back, recap the bad angle, and then I'm going to give you what I think's good about the NFL and how the NFL could go back to being wholesome. That's why it was so popular, America's game. Hey, man, I like football. Quite frankly, I'm going to go to a Super Bowl party after the show. The whole issue is that it's not my God, and I don't worship it, and I better not see some anti-gun garbage or pro-Obamacare garbage or Obama garbage when I'm watching it. I would be offended if they were pushing anything but pro-liberty, and Obama's the opposite of that. We'll be right back with our reporter. The facts are in. The studies are legion. Sodium fluoride and other toxic members of the fluoride family are devastating the health and cognitive ability of the American people. So why are the social engineers adding it to the water? Simple. Dumb down the host population that the parasitic technocracy is feeding on. We may not have been able to get fluoride out of the water supply yet, but we can help to get it out of our bodies. I am extremely excited to announce the exclusive InfoWars Life Fluoride Shield formulation, fusing 6 of the best documented ingredients from around the world to help the body remove not just toxic fluoride residues from the body, but a whole host of toxic substances. Let's take a stand against the globalist by blocking their poisons with Fluoride Shield. I use Fluoride Shield every day. Secure your Fluoride Shield and other pioneering formulations at InfoWarsLife.com today. Let's start cleansing our bodies now and support the InfoWar at the same time. That's InfoWarsLife.com. Hi folks, Alex Jones here with some important information. I want to tell you about Matt Redhawk and his team of patriots over at My Patriot Supply. Several years ago, Matt was sitting in his 2-bedroom apartment, frustrated with the direction this country was headed and the charlatans willing to sell us out for a quick buck. Deciding to take action, a company run by patriots for patriots was born. My Patriot Supply has never taken a loan or accepted outside funding. They now operate 2 distribution facilities and employ over 50 hardworking American men and women. It is rare to find companies who practice what they preach. And that's why I stock my pantry with high-quality storable foods from My Patriot Supply. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today for special offers on emergency food storage, or call their preparedness specialist at 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Do business with someone who shares your values. mypatriotsupply.com/Alex. Why does the United States spend the largest percentage of GDP in the world on healthcare? Why do we have the highest cancer rates on the planet, the highest rates of diabetes, autism, and every other major disease? It all comes down to one thing. We are what we eat. Our food is devoid of nutrition and processed with poisons and additives. Our water is filled with toxic poisons and big pharma runoff. All of this has been engineered by design. We can turn the tide against the eugenicist by giving ourselves the nutrients our body desperately needs. To learn more, visit InfoWarsHealth.com. The site is literally packed with audio and video featuring top health professionals who don't bow down to big pharma. The fight against the New World Order starts with you, and you can't stand against the machine if you're sick, tired, and obese. When you visit InfoWarsHealth.com, be sure and check out the catalog with nearly 400 life-changing products, and get free shipping when you sign up for AutoShip. In the last 50 years, iodine has been phased out of our staple foods and replaced with the halogen bromine, a practice now banned in nations around the world. Guess what else is in the halogen family? Fluoride. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here. In 1924, the federal government did the right thing and encouraged salt producers to add iodine. It's the good halogen on the periodic table, and the results are on record. Reports documented a 15-point IQ increase in areas that had previously been deficient in iodine. Bottom line, iodine is important. Unbound, clean, in a glycerin base. Nascent iodine was the answer for myself and my family. You will find Survival Shield Nascent Iodine exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWars Life Survival Shield Nascent Iodine isn't just for emergencies. I take it every day. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Well, you've got all the people lined up for hours there at the trains because no one's allowed to even have taxi rides up to the Super Bowl because of the terrorist threat. No, it's all about training us to be slaves in the land of the free, home of the brave. And you've got gunships in the air. You've got sniper teams. You've got armed TSA searching everyone, groping their genitals. They say have clear bags. Next will be clear clothes because we're all terrorists, except the government funding al-Qaeda and the Taliban all over the world to attack Christians and blow up churches and take over Syria, Libya, and Egypt, funded by Saudi Arabia. But forget reality. It doesn't matter. Super Bowl 48, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this is just the height of manliness. Our knights out fighting the other knights in simulated war while the whole real world goes around us. And as we lose our Bill of Rights, as we lose our Constitution, as we lose that battle, as we lose our borders and our sovereignty, as we lose our dollar's value, none of that matters because the only fight in the world isn't for our morals, isn't for our children, it's for the ball game. And Jakari Jackson with Josh Owens on camera, and again, you can watch feeds of this at Infowars.com/show, folks, or InfoWarsNews.com. But for radio listeners, we are joined by Jakari Jackson there at the site of Super God 48. I mean, this is our God. Our God is Peyton Manning, who's totally focused on nothing but football. That is so manly. Now, if you're focused on your liberties, that's kind of weird and creepy. Or if you're focused on sovereignty or the Second Amendment, that's weird and creepy. But if you're focused on slapping men on the hind end and throwing balls and all this stuff, this is so manly right now, and I'm just intimidated by it, and that's why I'm talking bad about it right now. You know, forget troops that go into combat. That's not manly. Right now, the ultimate manliness is happening, and to do it, we all are trained to be terrorists and have our genitals grubbed. Jakari, are you ready to get on the train and have your genitals grubbed? Are you ready to be grubbed at the Super Bowl itself? Jakari Jackson.
Well, you know, Alex, I feel so manly being around all these guys dressed up in their face paint. I feel like I just slammed 5 or 6 bottles of super male vitality. But, Alex, we're out here in Secaucus, New Jersey. This is the site of a ticket pickup behind me. These are the buses that are taking people to the Super Bowl. Now, you touched on the good point that because of the heightened security here, you cannot drive a personal vehicle without a permit. You have to get a permit to drive to the Super Bowl. You can't even be dropped off. So, for example, if I wanted to be dropped off by a taxi, I can't do that. So they're funneling the majority of the people going to the Super Bowl into 2 modes of transportation. You can take the train or you can take the bus. And on every single local TV station we've been watching, Alex, they've been talking about the terrorist threat and where the terrorists are going to strike. And every single channel talks about if the terrorists strike, they're going to strike on the mass transit system, which makes me think, well, why are you funneling almost everybody who's going on a mass transit system if that's where you think the terrorists are going to strike?
That's right. And, I mean, aren't you lucky? It's not just the heroes on the field. Homeland Security.
Yes, we tweeted that, Alex. If you guys pull up real Alex Jones, we snapped a picture of DHS. They were here a little bit earlier today. We tweeted that out so you guys can look at that. So DHS is going to keep you safe. And they'll talk about all the security measures. They'll talk about the barricades and how you can't drive and all these other things. But nobody wants to talk about on these local networks. Nobody wants to talk about the snipers in the building. They always gloss over that fact. They'll tell you about, oh, we got 3,000 plus special agents here from various agencies. You got the state police. You got this, you got that. But nobody wants to talk about the snipers in the building.
Well, let's be clear. There are a lot of crazies in a country of 320 million people, but they're claiming it's for al-Qaeda. They're claiming that this is a real threat when on record, our government in the 70s, created the Taliban, then created the Al-Qaeda, and is on record becoming Al-Qaeda's air force all over the world, to the point of they've now taken over areas of Iraq again. So I am so sick of being chatted down by the TSA to see if I'm a terrorist, when they know full well who you are with the NSA database on record that the TSA is dialed into, and they now use it to harass movie stars, members of Congress, you name it. I've had them say, "Hi, Alex Jones, come over here, we're going to screen you," and laugh at me. So it's all just about government power grabbing, Jakari. And again, being our savior with gunboats and helicopters. They're the heroes. Obama, before the Super Bowl in an hour-long interview, just forcing government. Why not just have Janet Napolitano out there play football against Janet Reno and Mr. Maddow and all of them? Why not just, they're our heroes. They're our red carpet gods, because politics is Hollywood for ugly people.
That's exactly right. I was talking to Josh, our camera guy. It reminds me of that movie, American Gangster, where Russell Crowe's character, he's like, "I'm going to the Ali fight. Hey, man, you want to go with me?" The guy says, "I don't like boxing." And Russell Crowe says, "It's not boxing, it's politics." That's what the Super Bowl is. It's not football, it's politics. It's not the NBA, it's politics. That's why you see all these big-name movie stars and all these politicians and these other guys go to these events. It's for publicity. It's for politics.
That's right. It's there where we pay for the money. Jakari, what do you make of these two teams being billion-dollar-plus teams and giving almost no money, as the AP and Showbiz 411 and others are reporting, and then meanwhile the owners paying no taxes and getting their stadiums paid for? I mean, this is the biggest scam job in the world. But I guess I'm talking bad about our pastime.
Yeah, it is. And, we did that Man on the Street in Times Square where we asked people if they were aware of the NFL status, how they give such a pitiful amount. I think it's less than $3 million a year to charities, and most of it goes to themselves being the Hall of Fame. So you see all these commercials for NFL cares. I'm sure there are good guys who go home at the end of the season and coach a football team for free, and that's great. But the NFL in large cares about the NFL. That's where the money goes to. And you talk about the teams being tax exempt. When you go to the Super Bowl this year, if you buy a parking permit, the NFL doesn't have to pay taxes on that. When you buy your ticket, the NFL doesn't have to pay taxes on that. You, the taxpayer, have to pay for that.
And that's because the NFL and other professional sports are partnered, just like they've been throughout history with other authoritarian regimes, with the state and with propaganda. That's why we see Obama on Monday Night Football and before the Super Bowl, force-fed to us instead of Hank Williams Jr., who's actually popular. And that's why you're seeing the tickets not being sold. That's why you're seeing viewership go down. People are really getting sick of this.
You're exactly right, Alex, because it was last week. I'm not sure how many they sold, but last week they had about 18,000 still up for grabs. We'll see. We were watching the TV just a few minutes ago before our broadcast. They say about 30,000 people have arrived at the Super Bowl, so we'll see if the other 50,000 actually show up, or even if they sold the other 50,000 tickets.
And by the way, so you can report on this tonight for Infowars.com with the videos you're going to be filing. I paid for 2 tickets, and they were the cheapest tickets. How much were these filthy tickets?
The cheapest tickets we got were $1,700.
$1,700, and where are you, in the nosebleed seats?
We're probably 5 or 6 rows from the top of the stadium. When you go down to the lower levels, I think those are going for about $25,000.
Well, I want you just to observe while you're there and just document the mind control. When you think about government in the last century, Jakari, government killed non-military combatants. 262 million people, according to the University of Hawaii, called democide. That's the term of death by government, non-military deaths. Imagine how many stadiums of 100,000 people 262 million is. But if you tell people in that group who I bet are going bankrupt and can't run their own lives and don't know why they're getting scammed about democide, they'll think you're weird for knowing about a political, sociological term. But I bet they know the size of Peyton Manning's jockstrap, because the truth is, this is a male soap opera, and they're all there to see their boyfriend. We'll be right back with Jakari Jackson. Stay there, Jakari. I have a few more questions for you. Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gates, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro 1 filters today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139. Alex Jones here with a message to fellow freedom lovers. The prognosis for the entire planetary economic system runs from bad to worse. The globalist model is to shut down societies and starve patriots out until they acquiesce to the global takeover. That's why we've assembled the most vital and important preparedness items at InfoWarsShop.com. These are items that I did research on, that I personally use. We've got the life straw, so you can turn fetid water into safe water anywhere you go. The K-Tor hand crank generator to charge up key equipment during power outages or out in the field. Strategic Relocation, 3rd edition by Joel Skousen. When Disaster Strikes by Matthew Stein. ThyroSafe, used by Homeland Security to protect yourself during any radiological event. Hand crank shortwave AM/FM radios. Everything that we've researched and found to be the best is available at InfoWarsShop.com, and your purchase makes our InfoWar possible. We're getting prepared. Are you? InfoWarsShop.com. Alex Jones here to tell you about how you can help spread liberty worldwide while also enjoying what I have found to be the best tasting 100% organic coffee on the planet. For more than a decade, my favorite coffee has come from the high mountains of southern Mexico, where the Chiapas farmers grow their unique shade-grown Arabica beans. We have now managed to secure these sought-after beans in a highly customized blend. Discover and try a bag of the Patriot Blend 100% organic coffee at InfoWarsLife.com. This coffee gives you a long, smooth pick-me-up for hours without the headaches and heartburn that so many other coffees give me personally. Hands down, this is my favorite coffee, and it's taken us years to secure connections directly to the Chiapas Mexican farmers. Drop by the site today, order a bag or two, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Available in original or with our Immune Support Infusion Blend. You will be supporting a free press, all the while enjoying a truly great-tasting cup of my favorite coffee. Available at InfoWarsLife.com. In the last 50 years, iodine has been phased out of our staple foods and replaced with the halogen bromine, a practice now banned in nations around the world. Guess what else is in the halogen family? Fluoride. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here. In 1924, the federal government did the right thing and encouraged salt producers to add iodine. It's the good halogen on the periodic table, and the results are on record. Reports documented a 15-point IQ increase in areas that had previously been deficient in iodine. Bottom line, iodine is important. Unbound, clean, in a glycerin base. Nascent iodine was the answer for myself and my family. You will find Survival Shield Nascent Iodine exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWars Life Survival Shield Nascent Iodine isn't just for emergencies. I take it every day. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
We are on the march. The empire is on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
I'm waiting
For the TSA to grope me between the legs. Because it doesn't matter that they openly run Al-Qaeda. That's the whole point. That's how they take away my rights. Because at 5 o'clock, they will make Obama the dictator. The sands of time for the Republic.
the sands of time for me
are running low. Only a virtuous people can be free. And there are a lot of virtuous Americans. I love this country, but man, I tell you, just the mindlessness over sports and the fact that people know nothing but that while the country just burns in front of us. Some guy last week ran in his house over a burning Xbox and almost died. I wish he'd run up to the city council and speak out about the globalist takeover and Agenda 21 and the destruction of private property rights. I wish people would take our schools back from Common Core and teaching kids 2 + 2 = 5. You get upset about your team losing. I get upset about Team America turning into a corrupt cesspit. I don't want to live in Guatemala or North Korea. And all the energies you've got that are meant to be obsessed with your freedom and being in charge of your life and being fiercely independent and a rugged individual are squandered on sports, and that's why every authoritarian regime has promoted them. Chikara, you got to run in there with Josh and jump on the train and face the big terror threat. Thank goodness they've got attack dogs and machine guns, though. They'll keep us safe while New Jersey takes the citizens' guns. But then you'll be inside to watch Super Bowl 48. And Jakari, closing comments before you jump on the train and drive down there, and maybe give us one more report before you go into the stadium.
Yeah, Alex, like you said, we're going to have to jump on the train because we can't drive because the security threat, I'm not sure if they raised the terror threat level, but plenty of DHS, plenty of state troopers. There are going to be at least 3,000 agents of various agencies and police there on the scene, along with snipers aiming guns at your head. It's a nice open-air stadium so the Blackhawks or the F-16s can take out your entire section if there is a single terrorist in your area.
Absolutely insane. Jakari, well, you've been braving the global warming up there, and we're braving it down here with more ice set to form tonight in the middle of central Texas, so it's terrible.
Yeah, it's not dripping down my nose. Yeah, it's braving this global warming, all this excessive heat out here.
All right, Jakari, get on that train. I don't want you to miss it. Great job.
All right, thanks, Alex.
There are a ton of video reports archived at InfoWarsNews.com, Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com. There's a bunch on YouTube as well on one of our official channels that has 250 million views. There's a bunch of other channels as well, but it's all up on Infowars.com. If you go to the front of Infowars.com, we have Sports Illustrated, Super Bowl 48, terrorist, don't even think about it, with a gunboat, with a guy driving around with an M60 machine gun. And again, folks, I love our military. I got a lot of family in the military. They face real jihadi threats overseas when they fight them in Iraq or Afghanistan. I've had family wounded over and over again. I've lost more distant family. I've got a lot of family scarred watching their best buddies die. I've had family that served. One family member served 8 tours off and on in Iraq and Afghanistan. And if the IEDs don't get you, the deadly spiders will. They got spiders that are worse than black widows. I mean, it's crazy. I'm not saying there isn't a Muslim, extremist Muslim issue. The point is that our government, the State Department and others, look at Benghazi, have been arming Taliban, arming al-Qaeda, and letting them attack countries that are neutral or that aren't attacking the West to try to destabilize the Middle East, all because Saudi Arabia is running al-Qaeda and wants to take over. Meanwhile, Iran is back in the news. Iranian commander, we have targets within America. That's out of the Daily Caller, directly from Press TV, with the Iranian commander saying they have sleeper cells in the West and can attack America, and says we are strategically ignorant. And let me tell this top general something. The people running America go to sleep every night. This is one of their Joint Chiefs of Staff, hoping some crazy jihadi does something. That's why the FBI, even in the New York Times, had to admit, out of 100 stop terror attacks, 90+ of them were completely staged mentally ill people that the FBI went out and found and commanded. They didn't go stop a group by infiltrating it. They went and found them and created it so they can justify their jobs. Now the FBI doesn't even investigate white-collar crime. They said 2 weeks ago they fight terror. That's because the country's run by white-collar criminals. They don't want them dealing with that. They want them dealing with the terrorist. And it's all a big excuse for a power grab. So I talked in the last segment about the bad that, you know, there's the headline, FBI drops law enforcement as primary mission. And that was in the Associated Press a few weeks ago. So the NFL's parasitic and tax exempt and gets taxpayer money to run security and gets taxpayer money to run PSAs, you name it. I mean, it is It is a total joke. I mean, they'll take an old lady's house if she doesn't pay property taxes. Or if I don't pay the income taxes, they'll come arrest me. And there's no due process. But these billionaires are tax exempt just like Formula One. Because they pay the lobbyists and write the laws. And it's wrong. And it's a fraud, and I'm sick of it. False dreams. Most kids will never get to be professional sports. Police state promo to sell the police state at the NFL. All the anti-gun stuff, the Obamacare stuff. Makes the government out to be the heroes taking our rights. The corruption, the underage prostitutes. The diversion from all the real world. The fact that men are supposed to use sports-like brain areas of the brain meant for strategy and wargaming. You're supposed to learn how government works and how life works and how business works and get into that and be competitive in business and be a trailblazer. And our heroes are supposed to be adventurers and scientists and firefighters that go into burning buildings, not sports people. This is sick, folks. And authoritarians know that. Male soap opera, Arrested Development. Again, people only talk about sports, nothing else. Used to suppress real male activities. Takes over an area in the brain meant for planning and survival and war planning. Now let's get into the good. Sure, government and social engineers and collectivists and leftists have tried to co-opt sports for their anti-liberty message, but they want to get rid of it. They're banning sports in elementary all over the country. Wrestling, dodgeball, tag, running. Don't run at recess. Don't run at sports. Ban football. So overall, they're already trying to get rid of football itself down the road when they're done using it. So overall, it's got some positive aspects to it in the way it used to be. I'm not saying sports isn't incredibly healthy and good to get your male energies going. Notice they're attacking. They want metrosexual. They hate the image of alpha males. So NFL, the rest of it, very healthy from that perspective. But they know we have a hunger for it. So they piggyback and Trojan horse all their disinfo onto the top of it. No guts, no glory. It shows you go 110% or don't play in the game of life. Same thing for business, parenting, all of it. 110%, it's easier to go all out than go halfway or 90%. It's hard to go slow, at least for me. I mean, the secret is just get into it, have fun. Learned that from my dad in business or cleaning the garage out or painting the house. He'd have fun doing it. That's the secret. He said, oh, this is horrible. This is terrible. Good. You can admire that and admire the human spirit and say humans aren't junk. Look at what we can athletically do. The globalists are always telling us humans are bad, get rid of humans. You know, the too many of us, blah, blah, blah. Work hard, you get ahead. Number 3, sports good for kids and adults to play. I'm all for sports if you're in it or you're watching your family in it. Keeps competition alive. They're trying to get rid of that with Common Core, getting rid of A+ and stuff because it hurts other people's feelings. No, there can't be winners and losers. You got to know how to lose to know how to win, folks. So I'm all about winners and losers and that competition. That's what makes us all great because being in the arena, at least you're not those timid souls who were never in the arena. That's how you learn how to win. The best thing ever happened to me was being bullied a lot. Hundreds of times when I was in 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and I turned into an absolute badass. Let's continue here. Keeping competition alive. As I just said, they want to get rid of competition in the general public to make us all a bunch of corporate drones. Football especially is good to keep competition going. I already mentioned schools banning sports and dodgeball. Teaches sportsmanlike conduct. A lot of good stuff about it. There you go. If you know what's good about it, it's good. And demand that out of sports, it's healthy. But we just turn it over to Obama and the globalists to have anti-gun ads, but not allow pro-gun ads, and to push Obamacare and to push Obama. I mean, give me a break. You got to boycott it. At least speak out against it, or you've turned it all over to the bad guys. We'll be right back. Why does the United States spend the largest percentage of GDP in the world on healthcare? Why do we have the highest cancer rates on the planet, the highest rates of diabetes, autism, and every other major disease? It all comes down to one thing. We are what we eat. Our food is devoid of nutrition and processed with poisons and additives. Our water is filled with toxic poisons and big pharma runoff. All of this has been engineered by design. We can turn the tide against the eugenicist by giving ourselves the nutrients our body desperately needs. To learn more, visit InfoWarsHealth.com. The site is literally packed with audio and video featuring top health professionals who don't bow down to big pharma. The fight against the New World Order starts with you, and you can't stand against the machine if you're sick, tired, and obese. When you visit InfoWarsHealth.com, be sure and check out the catalog with nearly 400 life-changing products and get free shipping when you sign up for AutoShip.
The facts are in. The studies are legion. Sodium fluoride and other toxic members of the fluoride family are devastating the health and cognitive ability of the American people. So why are the social engineers adding it to the water? Simple. Dumb down the host population that the parasitic technocracy is feeding on. We may not have been able to get fluoride out of the water supply yet, but we can help to get it out of our bodies. I am extremely excited to announce the exclusive InfoWars Life Fluoride Shield formulation, fusing 6 of the best documented ingredients from around the world to help the body remove not just toxic fluoride residues from the body, but a whole host of toxic substances. Let's take a stand against the globalists by blocking their poisons with Fluoride Shield. I use Fluoride Shield every day. Secure your Fluoride Shield and other pioneering formulations at InfoWarsLife.com today. Let's start cleansing our bodies now and support the InfoWar at the same time. That's InfoWarsLife.com. Alex Jones here to tell you about how you can help spread liberty worldwide while also enjoying what I have found to be the best tasting 100% organic coffee on the planet. For more than a decade, my favorite coffee has come from the high mountains of southern Mexico, where the Chiapas farmers grow their unique shade-grown Arabica beans. We have now managed to secure these sought-after beans in a highly customized blend. Discover and try a bag of the Patriot Blend 100% organic coffee at InfoWarsLife.com. This coffee gives you a long, smooth pick-me-up for hours without the headaches and heartburn that so many other coffees give me personally. Hands down, this is my favorite coffee, and it's taken us years to secure connections directly to the Chiapas Mexican farmers. Drop by the site today, order a bag or two, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Available in original or with our immune support infusion blend. You will be supporting a free press, all the while enjoying a truly great-tasting cup of my favorite coffee. Available at InfoWarsLife.com. Alex Jones here with a message to fellow freedom lovers. The prognosis for the entire planetary economic system runs from bad to worse. The globalist model is to shut down societies and starve patriots out until they acquiesce to the global takeover. That's why we've assembled the most vital and important preparedness items at InfoWarsShop.com. These are items that I did research on, that I personally use. We've got the Life Straw, so you can turn fetid water into safe water anywhere you go. The K-Tor hand crank generator to charge up key equipment during power outages or out in the field. Strategic Relocation, 3rd edition by Joel Skousen. When Disaster Strikes by Matthew Stein. ThyroSafe, used by Homeland Security to protect yourself during any radiological event. Hand crank shortwave AM/FM radios. Everything that we've researched and found to be the best is available at InfoWarsShop.com, and your purchase makes our InfoWar possible. We're getting prepared. Are you? InfoWarsShop.com.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Crashing through the lies and disinformation, it's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Here's my issue with professional sports. It's been hijacked by social engineers, and people think they can only be number one on the field or by rooting for somebody on the field. Ladies and gentlemen, I came from nowhere on local access TV 18 years ago, and this broadcast is now a worldwide phenomenon. I now do weekly slots on the Howard Stern Show, you name it. I mention that just to show how we're reaching out across the board, reaching more than 17 million people a week now. DrudgeReport.com, the mightiest website in the world, mightiest news site, links to us almost every 2 or 3 days. It's incredible, and it's all because I'm dedicated. I do my research, and I know what I'm talking about. I want to open the next hour up to your phone calls to have a discussion about sports and about propaganda in general. But bottom line, folks, crank it up. Nobody rides for free. Don't ever think you're going to be a spectator your whole life and buy into something and that's going to make you successful. I can't tell you, almost everybody I know in Austin who's young is waiting to be a movie star or a rock star or a sports star. And they're being used and fed on. And they're working through the system when there's not even a slot for every 1,000 of them. When meanwhile, the whole world's going on. Elites always push sports and Hollywood and fads and diversions. because they don't want you on the field of real life, knowing how government works, knowing how lobbyists work, being involved, knowing how judges work, knowing how business works, knowing how talk radio works, knowing how media works. You start learning about that instead of football stats and baseball stats and basketball stats, then it's over for the fractional reserve bankers. It's over for the New World Order. You got to pay to play. Bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, you got to pay and do the research to be informed. But instead, oh, the average sports fan, look at that guy. He knows the 10 Bill of Rights. Look at that guy. He knows what a pump and dump is. Look at that guy. Oh, my goodness, he's got a bunch of guns and knows how to use them. Oh, it's so kooky to have guns and know how to defend your family. It's so kooky. I'm supposed to just wear a jersey. They do a lot of video shoots for TV shows, Ventura show, Discovery shows, History Channel shows I've done. And they'll fly me out to Vegas because they do shoots there because it's so inexpensive. And I just watch these like big obese men. Not that I'm in the best shape ever, but I'm getting in better shape. And I watch them waddling around in these jerseys, getting drunk and playing games all day. And all they walk up and talk to you is about sports. And I'm like, I'm waiting to go do a video shoot at a rocket base out in the mountains in an hour with a former, Navy SEAL and governor of Minnesota. I don't say that to them, but they're like, what do you think about the game coming up? Who are you going to bet on? And I'm just like, I don't know. It's like the knowledge they think is only about that. That's why I'm angry. Look, I'm not even against gay people, folks. But quite frankly, I am sick and tired of not being able to turn on a sitcom, a drama, a movie, a kid's show, and not have it crammed down my throat. I mean, it makes me like, man, I am sick of this. I'm tired of your agendas in my life, Obama. Obamacare is a screw job written by offshore corporations on record. The unions are going public. Everybody's finding out it doubles and triples everything. Kicks sick kids off their coverage. It was in the bill. Where's Team Democrat apologizing for that? By the way, they've co-opted the Republicans. The Republicans will never run anybody against a Democrat presidential candidate. The game is rigged like, I am into sports. I'm into knowing how heavyweight boxing's been rigged for 30-plus years. And by the way, you know why it's unpopular? It doesn't make a fraction of the money? People know it's rigged. So I'm here to tell you, like, let's get this week that the guy that wrote the best-selling book on about We Sell It, The Fix Is In, proving the NFL, baseball, basketball especially, is rigged. And it doesn't mean most of it's rigged, but in top games, in playoffs, with key players, oh, you better believe when somebody just drops the ball for no reason or somebody does something that doesn't make sense at a key point, there's hundreds of millions being bet on that with the mafia, folks, and it's rigged. That's another issue of why I'm sick of professional sports. I'd rather watch people in real, security cam fistfights. There's millions, thousands of those videos, probably hundreds of thousands of them. I'd rather go play putt-putt golf with my buddies and bet $10 than sit there and watch someone else play a sport. I'd rather go play golf and get my butt kicked with my buddies than go watch someone play golf. I'm sick of watching everyone. I want to live. I want to do it. I want to be on the field. I want you to be on the field. Get on the field right now. Give me your take on professional sports. Put down the Jack Daniels and give us a call. Your calls are coming up in the next hour. 877-789-2539 is the Sunday show. We produce the entire show here Sundays. And if the American people started getting 1/10 the focus they have on liberty and freedom and prosperity and our basic rights and realizing those are being stolen from us, if we started taking it personal, like Peyton Manning would take it personal if one of his receivers ran the wrong route. I mean, when I watch Obama do something unconstitutional and become a dictator on guns, borders, Obamacare, military actions, I get upset 100 times what Peyton Manning would get upset if one of his wide receivers ran a wrong route. That's my part of the brain that cares about my freedom that my forebears killed a lot of people for and died for. My forebears, 1620 Mayflower, 1775 involved in that. Texas Revolution, you name it, whole 9 yards. I mean, if I got into my family in the Texas Revolution, it's sick. But see, I'm not going to live on their laurels. I'm here doing this now, you notice. Okay? You understand that? I'm not going to just sit there and look back on my ancestors and say, I've got incredible ancestors. I won't even get into it. It sounds like I'm bragging. I'm going to make history now in the game of life. You understand that? And I take this all real serious to the point of I get so focused and so angry and so upset, I spin out like a NASCAR pushing too many RPMs. But at least I'm trying, folks, and that's what matters in the final equation. Here's the toll-free number to join us, 877-789-ALEX, 877-789-2539. We're talking about sports being propaganda vehicles. Why is it a propaganda vehicle? Because it's human competition. It's so good. It's so natural. It's so wholesome. It's something that's in us to compete. But if your child, a bully starts a fight with them and they punch him back, the person that fights back now gets in more trouble, first in England, now here, because the government doesn't want you to be strong. Feminism says don't have women with guns. Let them hide behind 10 locks and get raped. No, my real feminism is teaching my daughters how to shoot. That's what it's all about in this life, ladies and gentlemen, is this system wants us domesticated on a couch watching other men. Oh, and cops, they can be men, they can be alpha males, but we can't and protect ourselves. See, only specialized government people can. That's what I'm getting angry at. What did Vince Lombardi, icon of the NFL, say? Winners never quit and quitters never win. Am I getting that quote right? And that's what it comes down to. Well, I'm not quitting for America. I'm not quitting for sovereignty. I'm not quitting on humanity, deciding we're all jokes. Winning is not something, it's an all-time thing. You don't win once in a while. You don't do things once in a while. You do them right all the time. Winning is a habit. Unfortunately, so is losing. That's right. So I'm going to be on the radio tonight on Coast to Coast AM for 2 hours. Then I'm going to be up in the morning at 8 a.m. with my personal trainer working out. And then I'm going to be on the radio for 3 hours tomorrow. And then I'm going to be with my family. And when my kids go to sleep, I'm going to be back researching and finding out what I'm talking about the next day. And all you losers want to tell me I'm weird because I know how the world works, and I'm weird because I know how to predict things, and I'm weird because I'm informed. Ask yourself how it became a conspiracy theory to say keep your government small and on a short leash, because like fire, it's a dangerous servant and a fearful master. It's not weird to quote George Washington. It's not weird to know what made us free. It's not weird to know who our enemies are, people like George Soros. I'm on a team of liberty lovers worldwide who want the spirit of 1776 on a planetary scale versus the spirit of 1984. And I'm taking action, and I believe in you, and that's what this is all about. So let's get that straight. I don't know what it is about sports broadcasters when I go on their shows or see them in the street. They're the ones that always make the joke at me and look at me like I'm a pile of crap because I don't know all the sports scores. Hey, sorry, buddy, I'm busy conquering the world for freedom. I'm too busy making world history. I'm too busy taking action. I'm too busy being informed. And if your candy butt knew about all that stuff, you might be more successful. I'm sorry, as a little man, you want to look at me in the real game of life and say I'm a failure. The truth is my world's bigger than sports. The truth is my world's bigger than what the government tells me I should watch and what I should do. I read Obamacare bill. I told you what it was going to do, and now it's all come true like we told you, because I didn't know the football plays, and I didn't know what color the jerseys were. I knew what was happening on the real game grid on this planet in deep space, orbiting that star. We'll be back with the second hour. Tell your friends to tune in. It's Super Bowl 48! In the last 50 years, iodine has been phased out of our staple foods and replaced with the halogen bromine, a practice now banned in nations around the world. Guess what else is in the halogen family? Fluoride. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here. In 1924, the federal government did the right thing and encouraged salt producers to add iodine. It's the good halogen on the periodic table, and the results are on record. Reports documented a 15-point IQ increase in areas that had previously been deficient in iodine. Bottom line, iodine is important. Unbound, clean, in a glycerin base, nascent iodine was the answer for myself and my family. You will find Survival Shield Nascent Iodine exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com.
InfoWars Life Survival Shield Nascent Iodine isn't just for emergencies. I take it every day. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gates, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro One filters today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Well, I went into a full-bore rant earlier. I want to reconquer the world for liberty from the parasites, those that want to deceive and bring humanity down. I want to empower humanity. We got a bunch of news coming up as well at the bottom of the hour, but right now let's go to your phone calls. Timothy in Virginia, you're on the air, my brother. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex. Just want to know, do you think it's possible for people to be able to still follow sports and then also know what's going on in the world around them, know about Bilderberg?
Absolutely. Look, if you're already informed and involved and doing something for liberty and you want R&R, everybody needs R&R. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. That's why I've always boycotted it for years, and I've been boycotting it because all the anti-gun stuff, but I'm going to go to a Super Bowl party tonight. That way I can report on it properly tomorrow and see if there's another fake power outage or whatever, like they had last year. But it's just that you're conscious that there's messages of manipulation. I'm talking about the general public that if you tell them they're being propagandized, they laugh at you.
Oh, yeah. No, I got friends. They're not, like people say, awake about what's going on around them. They're just drinking their fluoride sodas and eating their GMO food and watching the sports and not knowing even really what's going on with the sports they're watching. And at the same time, I'm looking at them like they're crazy. They look at me like I'm the one that's got 2 heads. I mean, it's this crazy world we live in.
Who do you think is going to win, the Broncos or the Seahawks?
Well, the corporate interests are going to be the ones that actually win. The owners, I mean, and that's really what it is. I mean, that
was the trick question. Absolutely, I know the winner, and it's really the corporate bosses. That's right, the tax exempt
police state. That's who's going to win. I mean, really, that's all it really comes down to is it's not the teams that win. The cities lose, and that's one thing that's bothered me.
And they win every time. I mean, it's like. If all the cities said no to Formula One, they would still build the track, they would pay for it, and instead of making, over the next decade, $2 billion off the local track, they'd only make $1 billion.
Yeah, they're raping cities, and they're raising taxes, like you mentioned, Jerry Jones and their stadium down there in Dallas, and what they moved it to the next city, they moved it from Arlington over there. Wherever they are now, and that's happened all the time. Trying to bring talk about sports, trying to bring a football stadium to L.A. and taxes are sky high in California. I mean, people are leaving California. They're trying to bring more football stadiums out there. I mean, look what they. Speaking about stadiums, you have Minnesota. They're trying to build a stadium there. They're taking money straight from those people's pockets to build another stadium. What's wrong with the stadium they already had? I mean. I don't understand.
No, it's all a boondoggle. It's all a scam, and they've set the precedent to get away with it over and over again. But I've seen the statistics. Not one of these stadiums was in the last 30 years was ever paid for by the owners. And it's just all a big disgusting mafia who now we're going to have anti-gun messages and pro-Obamacare. I mean, I'm done with it. I'm sick of it. Great points. Good to hear from you. We're going to go to break and go to Michael, Andrew, Scott, Corey, Brad, Hunter, Julio, Jeff, Ron, Jerry, and others. Your calls are coming up. And just have your point ready. I'm going to go to the next person. But yeah, no. New listeners tune in every minute. I should come in at the start of the next segment for all the new listeners that are coming in and say, I know the winner. I already know. It's already been decided between the Broncos and the Seahawks. I'll tell you at the bottom of the hour. And then at the bottom of the hour, I go, yeah, it's the owners that got the security paid for and are tax exempt, got the stadiums paid for. That's the winner. And I'll use that as a way to illustrate to the sports fans out there that will literally sit there for 30 minutes, because we're on all these AM and FM stations. They're going to hear that and stay listening when they wouldn't have, because they hear about government. Oh, that's boring, or that's work. I don't care about that. It's not work. It's animating. It's fun. It's good to be involved. You're meant to be at war with tyrants, or you're a slave. All of our ancestors, we survived, were able to deal with being attacked and usurped and you name it. Or they did the usurping. We'll be right back. Just give me the gas. We spare your lives. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Hi, folks. Alex Jones here with some important information. I want to tell you about Matt Redhawk and his team of patriots over at My Patriot Supply. Several years ago, Matt was sitting in his 2-bedroom apartment, frustrated with the direction this country was headed and the charlatans willing to sell us out for a quick buck. Deciding to take action, a company run by patriots for patriots was born. My Patriot Supply has never taken a loan or accepted outside funding. They now operate 2 distribution facilities and employ over 50 hardworking American men and women. It is rare to find companies who practice what they preach. And that's why I stock my pantry with high-quality storable foods from My Patriot Supply. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today for special offers on emergency food storage, or call their preparedness specialist at 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Do business with someone who shares your values. mypatriotsupply.com/Alex.
With your friends.
KLN, Los Angeles. Clone Radio. We play the songs that sound more like everyone else than anyone else. Clone.
Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. Fidel Castro took the guns. Hugo Chavez took the guns. 1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms. The Republic will rise again when you attempt to take our guns.
I have sworn upon the altar of God eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over the mind.
That's anti-government.
The answer to 1984 is 1776. You're listening to the Alex Jones Show.
The NFL should be trendy. We should have transvestites play the game. We should be inclusive and have 100-pound women be the linemen on the defensive side and offensive. Oh, yeah, the NFL is politically incorrect. A bunch of men in physical combat, that's all it is. Knights lining up against each other, jousting with their bodies against each other. A little passion as the men pat on each other. It's got everything they need. Ha ha! Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, we are live and broadcasting worldwide. Let's do it right now before I read a Vince Lombardi statement coming up at the bottom of the hour. By the way, if you just joined us, I will tell you who the winner, unequivocally, 100%, or may I be thrown into a lake of boiling oil. At the bottom of the hour, 33 after the news, I will tell you who is going to win Super Bowl 48 versus the Old Mules and the Sea Vultures. I will tell you who's going to win Seahawks versus Lord Manning. I will break it all down coming up at the bottom of the hour. But right now, the propaganda vehicle of sports, is it ruining sports? Do bears crap in the woods? Does the Easter Bunny lay eggs? The point is, we are going to take your phone calls right now. Michael in Arizona, you're on the air. Welcome.
Hello, Alex.
Hey, buddy.
Good afternoon.
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
Hey, I spoke with you on the 20th of January with regards to the one-year anniversary of the passing of my daughter, and I want to thank yourself, your staff members, and all the other listeners.
That was a very, very touching call. What's on your mind today, sir?
Well, I just wanted to let you know that I received thousands, if not millions, of prayers, and they helped me a lot. But I will go to the NFL and that sort of thing. I really don't care about the game. I don't know if I'm going to watch it or not, but I did see something today. I did watch some of the pregame show, primarily because of, I was wanting to look for propaganda, and I think the guy's name is Jim Kelly, is the owner of the Seahawks, who is in cohorts with Bill Gates. And they're doing this big promotion about how he's donated over $1 billion.
What he's done is Bill Gates has increased his wealth, by the way. He gets to be tax exempt and only give part of the profit to political action to push his agenda, like Obamacare and gun control. So, he gave $1 billion of $100 billion over the years to make $40 billion tax exempt. How nice of Bill Gates, like the NFL. He's tax exempt to give it to Handgun Control Incorporated. Oh, thank you, Seattle Rathawks. See, that's exactly why it's so disgusting. Yes, I was aware of that. Isn't that unbelievable? God bless you. I appreciate your call. Andrew in Pennsylvania. I don't think we're going to see Bill Gates get rid of his armed guards, but you should turn your guns in because Bill Gates cares about you.
No, he doesn't. Happy Groundhog Day, Alex. First of all, I want to point out I'm scheduled to have Fix-It-In author Brian Toey on my Blog Talk radio show, Nature Reality Radio.
Very interesting, sir. What's your point? Because we just can't do the whole blog fest here. We're already doing it here. I got to let you go. Appreciate the call. I just got to go to calls. I just got to get to the info on the NFL, folks. I'm not against anybody, but I just got to take your phone calls. You want me to take your calls? Here's the toll-free number to do it, folks. It's 877-789-2539. And I want to hear about the NFL and the Super Bowl and propaganda without a minute-long thing at the front of it. I don't screen your calls, but that doesn't mean I'm here to be crapped all over, okay? Let's talk to Scott in Texas. You're on the air. Go ahead, Scott.
Hi, you got me 5x5?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Just an interesting perspective on the Super Bowl and the ticket prices. I wonder how many people have home mortgages that are spending $4,000+ to go to these games. They need to have their head examined for spending that kind of money.
Well, exactly. They think that's the experience. They go, it's the best time of my life. Not having a child, not inventing something, not doing the right thing. No, it's going and watching a bunch of steroid heads on narcissistic power trips being worshipped with a bunch of tax-exempt gangsters ripping everybody off. Go ahead.
It's also interesting, too, that I think I read an article that I think that it's like a record-breaking year that's like, $4 million for 30 seconds, not including your production time, not including your actors, not including any of that stuff. Just the time alone is some insane amount. And I've noticed that the games are getting progressively tighter. And I'm not a big football fan, but I do hear these things. And it seems like, that there's no more blowouts anymore. I remember some of the older Super Bowls when I was a kid. You and I are the same age. And they were it was like 47-2, and people just tune out. And so it's interesting to me that it seems that the game's getting progressively tighter and tighter and tighter to hold on, to hold the audience through all the
just like the blackout got them 3 more minutes of time. No, sir. Look at all the corruption. Like I told you, the NSA was spying on you. I told you how they were spying on you with Trojan horse software on everything. Now it's all come out just like I told you. The truth it was already public. It's public and known that the NFL, the NBA, and Major League Baseball is almost completely rigged during key areas. It may be an inning. It may just be the third quarter. It may be just a particular kickoff. But when the bets are in for the gangsters that own the NFL and the other franchises, it's totally staged. And they've done computer breakdowns. I've had experts on to break it down. It doesn't mean every player is in on it. It's only a few. And it's the owners and other people, and it's totally rigged. And the FBI has come out and admitted that themselves. We sell a book, the Fix is in at InfoWarsStore.com, that details this. So not only are you, watching a big tax-exempt fraud with propaganda, you're watching a rigged event.
Also, one other thing, a fun game. I would do it. I don't have the coin to do it, but it'd be an interesting game to have a man on the street that has some tickets for people looking for free tickets, or and say, name three Supreme Court justices, and you can have the free tickets. Or what's the 17th Amendment? What does it do?
Ooh, I should have thought of that, to have an extra ticket to get a crowd out there and say, what is the Fourth Amendment in its entirety? Or absolutely, great points, great call. Thank you, Scott. Corey in Connecticut, go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, Alex?
Worldwide broadcast on Super Bowl 48.
I know. Yeah, I'm not even watching it, not even paying attention to it right now.
That is a thought crime. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to give over your soul, your identity to the NFL. What's your point, criminal?
My point is that not to distract you from the Super Bowl at all, but I'm currently on the Florida House of Representatives website and the Connecticut Freedom of Information Act website, the Office of Accountability. You're talking about gun control again, and one of the big things, obviously, the NFL is doing to basically sway opinion to the public opinion. I have a very big question for you, and I know
I think we should turn our guns in. The NFL said so. Go ahead.
Oh, I know we should. And what's really funny about that is the fact that none, and I'm going to repeat again, none of any of the Freedom of Information Act requests nationwide have been either conceived, grabbed, or responded to via the Connecticut Freedom of Information Act Office of Accountability.
Sure, to try to find out what happened to Sandy Hook, because that was clearly as phony as a $3 bill, a giant PR stunt to get our guns. I hear you, and I appreciate your call, bro. But we're taking calls on the NFL, professional sports, and piggybacking and propaganda onto it. So thank you, Corey. We're going to go to Brad, Hunter, Julio, Jeff, Carson, Ron, Scott, and others to talk about what professional sports being a vehicle of government propaganda and a police state promotion where government can pose as a savior, protecting us from the radical Muslim threat. They're protecting and funding, a.k.a. Benghazi, Syria, where we're al-Qaeda's Air Force. Next time the TSA wants to check your huevos rancheros for bombs, just point out the government publicly runs al-Qaeda. The whole thing's a giant hoax. Our country's run by criminals. Wake up. Alex Jones here with a message to fellow freedom lovers. The prognosis for the entire planetary economic system runs from bad to worse. The globalist model is to shut down societies and starve patriots out until they acquiesce to the global takeover. That's why we've assembled the most vital and important preparedness items at InfoWarsShop.com. These are items that I did research on, that I personally use. We've got the life straw, so you can turn fetid water into safe water anywhere you go. The K-Tor hand crank generator to charge up key equipment during power outages or out in the field. Strategic Relocation, 3rd edition by Joel Skousen. When Disaster Strikes by Matthew Stein. ThyroSafe, used by Homeland Security to protect yourself during any radiological event. Hand crank shortwave AM/FM radios. Everything that we've researched and found to be the best is available at InfoWarsShop.com, and your purchase makes our InfoWar possible. We're getting prepared. Are you? InfoWarsShop.com. Alex Jones here to tell you about how you can help spread liberty worldwide while also enjoying what I have found to be the best tasting 100% organic coffee on the planet. For more than a decade, my favorite coffee has come from the high mountains of southern Mexico, where the Chiapas farmers grow their unique shade-grown Arabica beans. We have now managed to secure these sought-after beans in a highly customized blend. Discover and try a bag of the Patriot Blend 100% organic coffee at InfoWarsLife.com. This coffee gives you a long, smooth pick-me-up for hours without the headaches and heartburn that so many other coffees give me personally. Hands down, this is my favorite coffee, and it's taken us years to secure connections directly to the Chiapas Mexican farmers. Drop by the site today, order a bag or two, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Available in original or with our immune support infusion blend. You will be supporting a free press, all the while enjoying a truly great-tasting cup of my favorite coffee. Available at InfoWarsLife.com. The facts are in. The studies are legion. Sodium fluoride and other toxic members of the fluoride family are devastating the health and cognitive ability of the American people. So why are the social engineers adding it to the water? Simple. Dumb down the host population that the parasitic technocracy is feeding on. We may not have been able to get fluoride out of the water supply yet, but we can help to get it out of our bodies. I am extremely excited to announce the exclusive InfoWars Life Fluoride Shield formulation
formulation, fusing 6 of the best documented ingredients from around the world to help the body remove not just toxic fluoride residues from the body, but a whole host of toxic substances. Let's take a stand against the globalists by blocking their poisons with Fluoride Shield. I use Fluoride Shield every day. Secure your Fluoride Shield and other pioneering formulations at InfoWarsLife.com today. Let's start cleansing our bodies now and support the info war at the same time. That's InfoWarsLife.com. Why does the United States spend the largest percentage of GDP in the world on healthcare? Why do we have the highest cancer rates on the planet, the highest rates of diabetes, autism, and every other major disease? It all comes down to one thing. We are what we eat. Our food is devoid of nutrition and processed with poisons and additives. Our water is filled with toxic poisons and big pharma runoff. All of this has been engineered by design. We can turn the tide against the eugenicist by giving ourselves the nutrients our body desperately needs. To learn more, visit InfoWarsHealth.com. The site is literally packed with audio and video featuring top health professionals who don't bow down to big pharma. The fight against the New World Order starts with you, and you can't stand against the machine if you're sick, tired, and obese. When you visit InfoWarsHealth.com, be sure and check out the catalog with nearly 400 life-changing products, and get free shipping when you sign up for AutoShip.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Crashing through the lies and disinformation. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Waging war on corruption, crashing through the lies and disinformation. Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. Infowars.com for details. Back Sundays, 4 to 6 p.m. Weeknights, 7 o'clock, Infowars Nightly News. I am your host, Alex Jones. I heard a local talk show host here in Austin as he broadcasts worldwide. I come to you from Austin, Texas. I run to listeners every day on the street and they go, "You're in Austin? What, are you listening to the show? You don't know I'm in Austin?" Not in L.A., not in New York, not in Miami, not in Chicago. I am not in Seattle. I'm not in Minnesota. Folks, I'm here in the heart of Texas. But I heard this host over and over again debating another host going, "Well, I don't care if they spy on me illegally. I'm doing nothing wrong." They're doing it illegally. People in government historically, if they get all your data, will use it against you for nefarious aims, dummy. Just like if you have a Facebook and you post your address and where you live, and the fact that your husband just gave you all this new jewelry and that you're going out of town tomorrow, they're going to come rob your house, dumbass. And I'm sorry to have to... You have your privacy and you lock your doors and pull your shades because a perv might sit there with their binoculars watching you in bed with your wife. You pull the blinds, dummy. I mean, why doesn't the Pentagon just open its doors up, let everybody in to see everything? Well, you know that's stupid. Well, bad guys might get the info. Same shoe on the other foot, dummy. Man, I'm sick of it. But really what that is groveling to the system. That if you just play like you're part of it, they'll be nice to me. No, that's the road to ruin. That's the road to slavery. It's Super Bowl 48 coming up at the start of the next segment. I can definitively tell you 100%. This is not my opinion. I already know the winner of Super Bowl 48 between the Broncos. It's not a game. It's not a joke. Not an April Fool's. I know the winner between the Broncos and the Sea Rats because Bill Gates is there. I know the winner coming up at the start of the next segment. Right now, let's go to Brad in Pennsylvania. Brad, you're on the air, my little extremist. Go ahead.
How you doing, Alex?
Oh, man, I'm good talking to you, buddy.
Hey, I think the big story we got to be careful of is the police state and what's if anything happens, and there darn sure could be something happening. Or if you like in the recent Sports Illustrated, they're talking about all the New Jersey State Police, all the different government agencies. It's just a plethora of
you mean they're mixing anti-terror with sports, like the cops and the feds are there actually battling Al-Qaeda while they're better than Peyton Manning. They're better than the Seahawks. They're better than You know, all these groups, they're better than George Washington. Sports Illustrated, Super Bowl 48. Terrorists don't even think about it. Exactly. It's being used to sell the idea, just like they sell the idea that gun violence is at record highs. When it's at record lows, it's there to sell propaganda. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, thank you for adding that. And but I'm afraid something will happen. And if it does, you got to believe, you got to know that it's they engineered it, just like 9/11. Because there's just too much police involvement, all these different government agencies. Anything happens, you know where to look. Look at them.
I agree, but I don't think they'll attack the Super Bowl this time or next, because if there's ever like a strike or it's not making money, then they'll blow it up. But the fact that it's their big propaganda deal and they like to meet all their high-end hookers at the meeting and land in their jet copters, and they love having the public pay for the racket, even though they can print money out of thin air, they love having all the poor slobs pay for it. I mean, it's just a huge joke to them. And so I don't know if they're going to attack it, but they will sell freedom as a proctology exam and a gunship, you know, because the terror threat is omnipresent. Great points, Brad. Thanks for calling. Hunter in Texas, or should I say Jaeger in Tejas. You're on the air. I mixed German and Spanish there, sorry. Or actually Indian, Tejas. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So-called professional sports here today are only bred in circuses to distract from their already dumbed down, fluoridated zombies. So, my request to you, sir, is that let's all instead play the real sport of legally resisting the controlled criminals in charge politically.
I agree with you. Absolutely. That's why they want you playing simulated video games, virtual reality, sports, so you're not in the real world, so you just do what you're told. That's what's going on. I was in a restaurant 2 years ago after the Super Bowl. It was 2 years ago today. I was in there with Wes and the rest of the crew, and we went in and they set us down, and Carl Rove was right beside me, right behind me, catty corner, and we got drinks and stuff, and food was coming, and I was going to confront him at the end of dinner, but I wanted to enjoy my meal, and he was making fun of people watching sports while the real world went on. And then I ended up getting up and leaving because I didn't want to stay there with him, but go ahead.
Yeah. Well, you know, along those lines, I am now suing those people for what you actually called me personally to call into your show a while back. My suit is now in the mediation stage of the
I remember you got banned from the county commissioners. You go by Ronnie Reeferseed, and that's why you called in with a fake name today, Hunter. And that's fine. You haven't called in months. I just don't like to call every time, see, because it's about the NFL. This was about county commissioners banning you from speech that I think's wrong. I appreciate your call. You got every other caller just is going to bring up another subject. You guys, I let you talk about whatever you want 9 times out of 10. We're not going to talk about whatever you want today. We're going to talk about Super Bowl 48. Julio in Illinois, you're on the air, Julio.
Happy Super Bowl Sunday, Alex.
I'm feeling really manly looking at Manning right now.
Propaganda, corporate holiday that has been created over the last several decades, the bread and circus that travels from city to city every year. It's really disgusting. You know, I was watching a commercial not too long ago during the Super Bowl coverage where they were trying to talk about the soldiers fighting for our freedom, and they showed the Constitution in Independence Hall. And in my mind, I was just thinking, man, why don't we talk about the soldiers that are getting destroyed with depleted uranium and so forth?
Sure, they only invoke the Constitution and soldiers to sell the wars. And that's what I'm saying. Everything about the NFL especially is pure brainwashing propaganda, and people should be aware of that.
When I think about these owners and these stadiums, I'm from Chicago, so we have Soldier Field, and so Chicago's a huge sports town historically. You know, these stadiums, I think these owners it's almost a front for the continuity of government agenda and these mega stadiums being stored. You know, I remember Alex at Cancun climate change document talking about transporting people to the big soccer stadiums in Mexico. So imagine if they talk about that in Mexico with their huge stadiums. They have Stadium Azteca, over 100,000 people in Mexico City. Just imagine what they could do in New Jersey or in Chicago or in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah, the more poor, the more degraded, the more degenerate, the bigger sports are. That's a historical fact. And sports is bigger than ever as America sinks into the slime, Julio, because people just can't get obsessed with standing up for themselves. They've got to watch you know, they're male soap operas. And I think it's okay that most American men are latently gay and like to watch these men bend over and stuff. I'm not against that. I understand that it's a, you know, a giant gay simulation out there. And I you know, that's the only reason they haven't banned it yet. Obama hasn't banned it yet is because it's an important training. All right, I'm being somewhat sarcastic, but not really. We will continue with our coverage of the latent NFL on the other side and tell you the winner of the Super Bowl beforehand. Stay with us. Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gate, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro One filter today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139. Alex Jones here with a message to fellow freedom lovers. The prognosis for the entire planetary economic system runs from bad to worse. The globalist model is to shut down societies and starve patriots out until they acquiesce to the global takeover. That's why we've assembled the most vital and important preparedness items at InfoWarsShop.com. These are items that I did research on, that I personally use. We've got the Life Straw, so you can turn fetid water into safe water anywhere you go. The K-Tor hand crank generator to charge up key equipment during power outages or out in the field. Strategic Relocation, 3rd edition by Joel Skousen. When Disaster Strikes by Matthew Stein. ThyroSafe, used by Homeland Security to protect yourself during any radiological event. Hand crank shortwave AM/FM radios. Everything that we've researched and found to be the best is available at InfoWarsShop.com, and your purchase makes our InfoWar possible. We're getting prepared. Are you? InfoWarsShop.com. In the last 50 years, iodine has been phased out of our staple foods and replaced with the halogen bromine, a practice now banned in nations around the world. Guess what else is in the halogen family? Fluoride. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here. In 1924, the federal government did the right thing and encouraged salt producers to add iodine. It's the good halogen on the periodic table, and the results are on record. Reports documented a 15-point IQ increase in areas that had previously been deficient in iodine. Bottom line, iodine is important. Unbound, clean, in a glycerin base. Nascent iodine was the answer for myself and my family. You will find Survival Shield Nascent Iodine exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWars Life Survival Shield Nascent Iodine isn't just for emergencies. I take it every day. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Alex Jones here to tell you about how you can help spread liberty worldwide while also enjoying what I have found to be the best tasting 100% organic coffee on the planet. For more than a decade, my favorite coffee has come from the high mountains of southern Mexico, where the Chiapas farmers grow their unique shade-grown Arabica beans. We have now managed to secure these sought-after beans in a highly customized blend. Discover and try a bag of the Patriot Blend 100% organic coffee at InfoWarsLife.com. This coffee gives you a long, smooth pick-me-up for hours without the headaches and heartburn that so many other coffees give me personally. Hands down, this is my favorite coffee, and it's taken us years to secure connections directly to the Chiapas Mexican farmers. Drop by the site today, order a bag or two, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Available in original or with our immune support infusion blend. You will be supporting a free press, all the while enjoying a truly great-tasting cup of my favorite coffee. Available at InfoWarsLife.com.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
It's always a tough vote because the average person thinks raising the debt ceiling must mean that we're running up our debt. Raising the debt ceiling, which has been done over 100 times, does not increase our debt. It does not somehow promote profligacy. All it does is it says, you got to pay the bills that you've already racked up, Congress.
Well,
you're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Kickoff set to happen here any minute. NFL. True manliness. By the way, this hour is brought to you by mypatriotsupply.com/Alex. Delicious and easy to prepare. High-quality, storable foods that last 25 years. Easy to put together. The highest quality, what I choose for my family. mypatriotsupply.com/Alex. Or if you go to their website, they have the toll-free number up there at the top, 866-229-0927. mypatriotsupply.com/Alex. And we have InfoWarsStore.com with all the pro-gun, pro-liberty apparel, because instead of wearing an NFL team, you actually talk about George Washington and liberty and Bill of Rights and property rights and Second Amendment and stuff like that, and meet like-minded people. We've got all the T-shirts, literally hundreds of them. And we've got Made in America flags. We got George Washington 1776 belt buckles, 1776 ball caps, and Don't Tread on Me shirts. All of it, Molon Labe, come and take it. All of it at InfoWarsStore.com or Maiden1776.com will take you right to the apparel section. We've also got InfoWarsLife.com, the very best supplements. We've only got 3 of them in the 6-8 months we put out because it's so hard to get the high-quality products. The nascent iodine for your glands and your body and to make your hormones flow properly. The fluoride shield, the nascent iodine, 5 other ingredients. Super Male Vitality, the Southern Mexico, Chiapas, high mountain, organic, volcanic coffee, my favorite blend. I shipped it in mass. We've got our own Wake Up America coffee. InfoWarsStore.com or InfoWarsLife.com or 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You can call toll-free and ask any questions or order online. And your purchase, voting with your dollars, supports this hardcore beacon of liberty. So I thank you all for your past and present and future support. 888-253-3139. 888-253-3139. And listen, we usually have a free-for-all with callers. We've had great callers today. But I'm opening the phones up right now to talk about sports and the propaganda and your take on the Super Bowl right now as kickoff has now happened. Let's go ahead and go back to the calls. Jeff in Toronto, go ahead.
Hi, Alex. Thank you very much for taking my call. My question for you is about a book that I was told about a long time ago regarding people shifting the Super Bowl is one thing, and then look over here, the government is doing another.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it's like the magician has the good-looking assistant. When you're looking at her, he's putting the rabbit in the deal to take it out of the hat, and the cabinet underneath the hat. That's my issue. There's no other manhood but being in the NFL. But if a man tries to go out and be politically active, that's weird. These people are politically involved. What in the world? Go ahead.
The book that was recommended to me was at an initiation of Delta Kappa Epsilon, of which both U.S. Presidents Bushes are members. That's why I was calling. This is like a double hit for you. So what I'm saying is they told me, read this book, and I can't remember it, which is why I wanted to call you to see if you have read it. It is something about a circus and something else, and then... I'm
sorry, if I don't know the name of the book, I can't tell you.
Okay, I'm sorry, Alex, but that's why I called, but that's what really happened. And
well, of course, when you're part of the deal, they tell Delta Force people to read The Prince. What's your take on the NFL? Anything on the NFL?
No, complete garbage. Please stay tuned to Alex Jones and pay attention to reality.
I appreciate you calling. Listen, I'm not against a bunch of men who were trained their whole lives competing against each other. It's just that it's a false facsimile, like a prosthesis. Would I want my legs or fake legs? Well, nothing against folks without legs, but I'd rather have my legs. That's what I mean. It's not real jousting with the knights in simulated battle that could kill each other. I mean, meanwhile, you've got folks like, the famous Dallas Cowboys quarterback who got so many concussions that he'd be like, Troy Aikman, Look at the bricks and the sub shop, the delicious. They don't care about these people, folks. And they wouldn't let anybody else do this type of thing if it wasn't for the profits they're making. And that's my point. The people running the NFL are all tax exempt, while if you or I don't pay the taxes, they come arrest us. It's all a giant discriminatory fraud. That's what I'm saying. Ron in Arizona, you want to talk about professional sports? Go ahead.
Yes, Alex, I want to talk about or give my testimony about the Stupid Bowl.
Yes, the scam boil, the stupid boil, the scam boil, the slave boil. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saved at age 6, but my father was in the sports and he brought me up on it, and I got sucked into it. I worked Stupid Bowl in 1993. I also worked numerous World Series games, All-Star games, Rose Bowl games, pro football, baseball, college football. I turned down to work the Olympics in '84 because I was getting tired of it. And I finally woke up and realized that seeing a big game, whether you're working it or going as a fan, doesn't make you a better person or make you happy. It just makes you stupider.
That's my issue, is the people that are watching it feel like they're part of it instead of having their own lives. You just crystallized my issue.
And what I challenge men out there who claim to be believers in Yeshua, the Messiah of Nazareth, is to give up a Stupid Bowl game and spend the time reading the Bible, praying with their wife, their family, etc. And I challenge all pastors in America next year to hold a special Bible study prayer meeting during the Stupid Bowl, and you will see which men in your flock worship Yahweh who come to the Bible study, and those who worship the NFL who do not come.
That's really well said. Chris Jordan was talking about how he did a Sunday night Bible study for his church, but they started calling it a super feast or whatever, because no one would show up for it. And that's the point. We worship this, and then we worship the propaganda, the anti-gun Obamacare garbage that's in it. As our society implodes, great illustration, we have made this king of our lives. And it's just so empty, and they are using it to abuse us. They are opportunistically laughing at us. And that's my issue. Great points. Carson in Washington, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
I sure can, Carson.
Hey, Alex. Thanks for taking my call. I've been listening to you for like 2 years. I just had a question about what you thought the halftime show was going to be about this year.
You know, I didn't really pay attention. I'm sure if it's like the Grammys, it'll be 4 or 5 gay marriages and 3 or 4 satanic ceremonies. And then if you point it out, you're just not trendy. And I don't know. I mean, what is the halftime show? Guys, look up Super Bowl 48 between the donkeys and the flying rats or whatever it is, and tell me who this halftime event is. What do you think, brother?
I don't know. I think last year they kind of overplayed it a little bit with the Beyonce thing. So I think they might tone it down this year. I was just wondering what you. Well,
I just think since it's such a woman's rights, maybe we should have like 20 or 30 group abortions, partial birth abortions, right there on television. And then since Obama likes it so much, they could like have like a slip and slide of all the dead humans, and he could slide over them since they're not human. I mean, I'm against that. I hate abortion and care about the human body, but and care about human life. But I mean, maybe we just have a group abortion. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds like in Europe.
Or maybe have a nuclear reactor blow up, and then they can have the FDA and EPA say it's not a problem like Fukushima. How's that sound? Maybe the halftime show will be helicopters fly over and spray radiation on the crowd. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
All right, good to hear from you. Actually, I don't want to have a group abortion there, but that's how they destroy the human psyche and dehumanize us. But then saying it is uncouth, I understand. Killing a baby's okay, but saying it's bad.
The facts are in. The studies are legion. Sodium fluoride and other toxic members of the fluoride family are devastating the health and cognitive ability of the American people. So why are the social engineers adding it to the water? Simple. Dumb down the host population that the parasitic technocracy is feeding on. We may not have been able to get fluoride out of the water supply yet, but we can help to get it out of our bodies. I am extremely excited to announce the exclusive InfoWars Life Fluoride Shield formulation, fusing 6 of the best documented ingredients from around the world to help the body remove not just toxic fluoride residues from the body, but a whole host of toxic substances. Let's take a stand against the globalists by blocking their poisons with Fluoride Shield. I use Fluoride Shield every day. Secure your Fluoride Shield and other pioneering formulations at InfoWarsLife.com today. Let's start cleansing our bodies now and support the InfoWar at the same time. That's InfoWarsLife.com. Hi folks, Alex Jones here with some important information. I want to tell you about Matt Redhawk and his team of patriots over at My Patriot Supply. Several years ago, Matt was sitting in his 2-bedroom apartment, frustrated with the direction this country was headed and the charlatans willing to sell us out for a quick buck. Deciding to take action, a company run by patriots for patriots was born. My Patriot Supply has never taken a loan or accepted outside funding. They now operate 2 distribution facilities and employ over 50 hardworking American men and women. It is rare to find companies who practice what they preach. And that's why I stock my pantry with high-quality storable foods from My Patriot Supply. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today for special offers on emergency food storage, or call their preparedness specialist at 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Do business with someone who shares your values. mypatriotsupply.com/Alex. Alex Jones here with a message to fellow freedom lovers. The prognosis for the entire planetary economic system runs from bad to worse. The globalist model is to shut down societies and starve patriots out until they acquiesce to the global takeover. That's why we've assembled the most vital and important preparedness items at InfoWarsShop.com. These are items that I did research on, that I personally use. We've got the Life Straw, so you can turn fetid water into safe water anywhere you go. The K-Tor hand crank generator to charge up key equipment during power outages or out in the field. Strategic Relocation, 3rd edition by Joel Skousen. When Disaster Strikes by Matthew Stein. ThyroSafe, used by Homeland Security to protect yourself during any radiological event. Hand crank shortwave AM/FM radios. Everything that we've researched and found to be the best is available at InfoWarsShop.com, and your purchase makes our InfoWar possible. We're getting prepared. Are you? InfoWarsShop.com. My friends, Alex Jones here to tell you about some of the most important information concerning you and your family's health. Radiation levels have more than doubled in the last 60 years in the Northern Hemisphere from all of the nuclear testing and radiological accidents. Radioactive contamination is now in most of the food supply. There's only 2 ways to avoid this. Move south of the equator or properly protect your thyroid with nascent iodine. Looking to protect my family, I've done deep research. Nascent iodine is the purest, cleanest, absolute best form of iodine to protect yourself and your family. It's made right here in the USA, completely non-GMO. I searched out the best quality and now have developed a double-strength form of nascent iodine, exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com. Nascent iodine is on record as one of the only safe ways to detox from fluoride poisoning. Survival Shield Nascent Iodine. Secure your super high-quality nascent iodine today at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Crashing through the lies and disinformation. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
I myself am following the Drudge Report, drudgereport.com. It has the Sea Rats at 5-0. We'll put that back up on screen, actually, for folks. Denver 0. I had somebody ask me on the street today, Alex, who's going to win? And I said, well, the media says it's going to be Denver. It must be the Seahawks. It's all rigged anyways. I know you like a underdog coming from behind. Oh, I know the NSA's not spying on us, too. And Bill Clinton didn't have sex with that woman. I mean, anything this big is rigged. They might have power outages tonight to keep the game going forever. Jakari Jackson is missing the kickoff. We're 18 minutes into the holy game. He's about to go in with Josh, and then he'll do some updates inside as well after the show's over in about 15 minutes at Infowars.com. And we'll also have game coverage at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com and Twitter, Real Alex Jones. I'm about to go back to calls, but Jakari, what was it like? The heroes protected you on the subway train to get there. They said that was the big terror threat where Al-Qaeda, that our own government gave missiles to, was going to attack. But you were okay, Jakari?
That's exactly right, Alex. And we just posted the video. You can guys go to the YouTube page and find our new video. We encountered some police down there holding their rifles. I'm not sure if they were fully automatic, but they are definitely the military style, as Ms. Feinstein likes to call them. Also saw some bomb-sniffing dogs, and of course, TSA checking bags for anybody who had a bag. We're outside the stadium now. The security's pretty tight. They don't want us to stand in any 1-2 place too long. They keep shuffling us around. And right now, from where I'm standing, I can see at least 3 helicopters.
Oh, good.
Might not be able to see them on the
Oh, they're
the
keeping
iPhone.
us safe. Oh, good.
But yeah, there's at least 3 helicopters in my eyesight, and I'm just on one side of the building.
Threats everywhere. Oh.
Yeah. So it's Police State 2014. Police State 2014, a.k.a. Super Bowl 48.
All right. Anything else, Jakari?
No, we're just going to go in here and see what else happens. May see some weird stuff at halftime, but regardless of what we do, we'll try to get it up as soon as possible for the Infowars.com viewers and also PrisonPlanet.tv, Twitter, Real Alex Jones.
That's right. Who's on tonight at Infowars.com? Is it Kurt Nimmo? I see him posting a bunch of articles today. We'll just continue to have your videos posted by the writers at Infowars.com as the night develops. Jakari, get in there. You've already missed 18, 19 minutes of the most wondrous thing in the world.
I mean, I'm missing my life. I want my life back, Alex. I'm on this train, and now I'm missing my life. So, yeah, but I'm not too eager to get in here and get felt up by the security.
It says MetLife right there. You're about to get your life back.
Yeah, I go get my...
Who are you rooting for, the Sea Rats or the Psycho Donkeys?
I'm rooting that we can have a nice, safe event out here without any weird Illuminati ceremony. That's what I'm rooting for.
I'm sure there'll be one of those. All right, Jakari Jackson, thank you very much.
Thanks, Alex.
He'll be back on tomorrow during the weekday show, 11 a.m. Central, to give us the aftermath with Josh Owens. Let's go ahead and go to John in New Jersey, the site of the incredible event. John, do you feel blessed to even be near this event?
Well, I don't know. Me as a kid, I always tried to watch wrestling. My dad told me no. And I remember, too...
You're not going to tell me wrestling's fake either, are you?
Well, I just remember seeing them 3 letters, NWO. And in NFL, I do know that the ball players are professionals. And even, too, watching...
The ticket says it's for entertainment purposes only and completely fake. But, yeah, I don't read the ticket. I mean,
I mean, even watching Al Bundy, I could be like him and maybe sell shoes, but I already know it's something that they try to make us get into young like that, and seeing him...
That's right. The establishment that wants us to drink fluoride, wants to lower our IQs, wants us to watch this, so it must be good. Go ahead.
Yeah, he said he got married when he was young and had kids. That's why his excuse why he couldn't be professional, So it's one of the few things, even Pinky and the Brain, the cartoon, how they always said they wanted to take over the world.
Yeah, but nobody in the elite wants to. They've already taken over. Look at how it's all taxpayer paid for. You have these billionaires with the security, everything paid for by us. And again, they go, well, that's okay. But if an old lady doesn't pay her property taxes, here comes the SWAT team. She doesn't.
A cartoon.
Yeah.
That was in a cartoon when I was a kid. And I kind of made sense of it then, but it just was like, oh, well, it's a cartoon. But even watching Jackass, that's another show that people mimic, like wrestling, and people get hurt with, not just like kids with guns like 2020 wanted to say, and had the show about. They never had a show on, people mimicking Jackass or wrestling moves and, stuff like that.
That's because they never criticize anything that's establishment. And I appreciate your call, Scott, or John, good point. Scott's up next in Arizona. Scott, go ahead.
Hi, I just wanted to say no issues in this world are black and white, and that's what you guys are making it seem out to be right now. And for all you Christian followers passing judgment and all the people that love football and are passionate about it, that's a big judgment.
No, I agree with you. I think the fact that in every third world country, sports is absolutely #1 is a good thing. Come on, we're not passing judgment. We're pointing out good aspects and bad aspects like I did earlier. And no one can deny that this has become the new religion. What do you think of the NFL having anti-gun, pro-Obamacare messages?
You know, I be honest with you, I agree with you. I know it's been hijacked, but at the same time, I see the beauty and passion and the artistic movement of the human body in motion. And, you know, I know Hollywood's been hijacked, but that
the human body?
You know, just because Hollywood's been hijacked doesn't mean we can't receive great stories and great movies and still find the good in it. And I see so much.
Whose human body, which one of the male players' bodies do you like the most?
The beauty of if you see a sideline catch when the toes touch down, for someone to be able to do that and control their body, I think that's art.
I know, I'm being sarcastic. I hear you.
I think that art is just as beautiful as opera.
No, I agree with you. Sports and athleticism is a great thing. My point is, we have to say we're sick of the anti-gun Obamacare garbage. And look, should it be tax exempt so Jerry Jones makes an extra billion?
Of course not. I completely agree with you. I just wanted to point out that it's not black and white. There is beauty in this game, and there's a lot of passion behind it. And just one quick point.
Which quarterback is more beautiful? Scott?
Just one quick point, too, is the Walter Payton Award. I know, you know, obviously a lot of it's showmanship, but there are a tremendous amount of dudes with great character and humility out there.
No, I hear you. Like Tebow and all that stuff, or Tebow, whatever. I appreciate your call. I hear you. The point is that no one can talk about anything but sports. And women can only talk about entertainment. And I'm just, you know, there's more than the sports pages and the entertainment pages. That's all I'm saying is it's used to distract people. Jim in Pennsylvania, go ahead, sir.
Hello, Alex.
Hello, my friend.
Yes, wanted to talk about the sports thing.
Oh.
Back in the mid-'90s around here, I live near Pittsburgh, they tried floating a tax initiative to pay for the new stadium.
Why not pay for it for some billionaire? That's reasonable.
They tried doing that, and they got voted down by the local population.
That means you must not have electronic voting machines. Yeah, most places it's unpopular in the polls, but still passes. I'm surprised it didn't magically pass in your area.
There's a lot of people against it. And then later on, probably up around 2000, the city of Pittsburgh got into a budget crisis after they implemented Plan B to get the stadiums built.
So they still did it. Well, you got to give the billionaires a free stadium. I mean, most rich people got their money from government contracts. That's why all the rich people promote socialism, because they're all exempt from it. I gotta jump, brother, but the biggest recipient of the banker bailouts in 2008 was Warren the Pig Buffett, who lobbies for higher taxes because he's exempt from them and gets your money. Remember that. We got to go fast. Dan in New Jersey, go ahead.
Hey, Alex, how are you?
Good, brother. Go ahead.
I'm actually about a mile outside of the stadium, which is where I live.
You're so lucky.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'll tell you what, the past 2 months there's been helicopters all around. The past 2 nights I haven't been able to sleep because they've been right above my building. And this morning when I woke up, I was posting something on Facebook about, you know, all this stuff. And the cops knocked on my door. Of course, I didn't answer it, you know, because I'm a, you know, liberty-loving, you know, pro-gun American.
If one guy was on the loose like Boston, they just make everybody empty out of their houses. Why not? It's freedom.
Who knows? But, you know, everything is crazy over here. And with the Super Bowl, I mean, a lot of people are tricked into thinking that it's about sports, but they get sucked in, and it's really about all the imagery that they use. You know, before I
Exactly. The game is the screen to project the propaganda on. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. Before I started following you, I used to listen to Jordan Maxwell a lot, and he went into a lot of you know, different symbology and stuff like that. And the more you read about it, the more you know, and you see all these things, these entertainers, all the symbols they use. You know, it's just...
No, they're programming the subconscious mind. I appreciate your call. Lena, Martin, Laura, Mary, and Jim, I'm out of time. But I'll be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central, 12 noon Eastern, with the big official weekday transmission, Infowars.com. We did good taking calls. Great job, crew, coming in. We can now all go to the Super Bowl parties and bow down to our God. It's not freedom. No, it's Peyton Manning. So we're all going to go. Right now, are they still losing? What's the score? Doesn't matter what our freedom is. What's the score? What's the score? It's at Infowars.com. It's at DrudgeReport.com. What am I going to do? I'll be on Coast to Coast AM tonight. First 2 hours nationwide, talking to tens of millions of people. God bless you all.
Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver impregnated white ceramic with new aquamedics.
My mic's started going. I'm not manly now. My archetype leader is losing. I'm failing.
We have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro One filters today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling